Good morning, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Oh, yes, good afternoon. It's after midday. On our fourth 30 minutes worth, which is really exciting because we've got a double duo. Well, you can't have a single duo, can you? So that is our Layla Hitchin and Claire Louise. So, although I did hear today that some people actually call her Louise, so that's very interesting. So, apologies for the late arrival because we had a few technical issues, and just as the technical department, obviously you can imagine, because I wouldn't even know how to get here. So unfortunately, it's not being broadcast live on Facebook. So you do need to be on the Zoom, but we can obviously, I'm sure Jess will be putting that now on the Facebook to say, come on, you're just going to have to either jump on here or we'll listen to the replay, because I've actually no idea how that works. But in the meantime, I would like you both, and you can fight over who goes first, to tell us all a little bit about what got you to where you are now, basically.
Okay. So I can jump in and do that one. So what actually got me to where I am now is the lovely Layla Hitchin.
Right.
So for those of you that don't know me, I started off as Layla's apprentice. Well, we've been working together for 5 years now, and I did 2 years apprenticeship with Layla, and then obviously we were great friends. She's a great mentor, and now my amazing business partner. So it's a brilliant win-win for me. Yeah, I mean, Layla, you can introduce yourself, not that you need an introduction.
What did you do before meeting Layla?
Before meeting Layla, I was doing beauty, like lashes, nails, all the general beauty umbrella. I always knew I wanted to do a little bit more, and actually even before the apprenticeship came up with Layla, I always knew I wanted to work with Layla, because we actually knew each other through like an eyelash connection. So that we ended up doing permanent makeup together.
Okay, so the beauty background, so you knew how to touch somebody's face.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I couldn't draw an eyebrow though, Debbie.
I didn't know how to touch somebody's face. Go on, Layla.
So yeah, I come from a beauty background as well. Started beauty 19 years ago, and then I think I'm on my 9th year now of PMU.
Yeah.
I'm someone that gets bored very quickly with repetitive things.
Yeah.
So I was always looking at what else I could do. I kept adding services to my list. And then when I trained in permanent makeup, I just fell in love with it. And I guess I've never got bored of it because it keeps you on your toes 24/7.
Yeah.
So yeah, I ended up dropping beauty so that I could focus 100% onto the PMU. And yeah, that's kind of where it all started.
So kind of, you're both really well known, I think, for what started off as PMU Circle. Okay. So where did you get that inspiration from?
The lack of shared education and knowledge to make the industry better. To be fair,
yeah, it was like years ago, no one would help you, would they? Like if you had one question, you had to pay £1,000 to go on a masterclass to ask one question, because everyone was so secretive with everything. And it was Katie, wasn't it? We was just standing around chatting one day, and Katie said to me, Layla, you spend so much time helping artists that are not your students. Like, why can't we do something where we can try and help people on a bigger scale, rather than me sitting up till midnight replying to random messages in my Facebook? Because it's like, I don't know why people won't help, because it will make the industry a better place.
And the ripple effect from that is the industry's a better place. People feel more confident in what they do, and our clients get what they deserve. Yes. I think that's the end game, isn't it? Quality. Yeah,
just upping standards, isn't it? And I think if you can go into a treatment feeling knowledgeable, you've got your confidence there as well. When you've got that knowledge behind you, that's when your confidence comes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a major support system as well, because most PMU artists, they work alone, they don't work in big organisations, and it can be really lonely. So having something like the circle where you can go, share your woes, share your successes, and everyone's really supportive is quite important. We never had that when we all first trained.
Oh God, talk about it 15 years ago. Take your money. Didn't want to hear from you again.
Yeah, don't listen again. There's your certificate. Bye.
Yeah, but I have to thank them now because I got on the ladder. And I probably wouldn't be the trainer or support network that I am. I think we become the people. We often become the people we become because of the experiences that we've had ourselves, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely.
And if your own personal experience hasn't been a great one, you've either got a choice, haven't you? You either follow that same path, or you do a UE, and you decide, I am going to break this mold, I suppose. So, in all our ways, I think we've all broken the mold, haven't we? And in different ways, and obviously with PMU Circle, that's been absolutely amazing. So now you've got you've changed it to HQ permanent makeup, haven't you?
Yeah. So we've still got the circle running as the circle, and then me and Claire have gone into a partnership officially from January this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you, for the training academy and the online supply store. So they both come under HQ now.
Right. Okay, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
The question is though, Debbie, do you know what HQ stands for? The amount of times people ask us this.
Yeah. Well, they're like, oh my God, I never realised.
Headquarters. Isn't it headquarters?
So the HQ is actually a play on words. So whilst it is the headquarters because it's where we're based, it's where we work. But it also is a play on words because obviously Layla's surname is Hinchin and mine is Quay, so it actually works out.
Our surname.
Jasper's just shouted it.
Jasper knew.
Okay. Just shoot.
You won't be the first to not know, don't worry.
Oh my God, yes. And somebody next will tell me gullible's not in the dictionary. So, Oh, of course, why on earth?
Oh, it looks like we're live, are we? Being live streamed now.
Yeah, it's just come up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
done
I've
it.
just
It's
been desperate in the background trying to get it done, so we can have a go at him.
no,
maybe
not working.
Oh, well, maybe that bit could be edited out. No, it's all right. I am thick. That's fine. Okay, so when did you guys first hear about Goldeneye?
2020, Layla? Just by
you've got a better memory than me, Claire.
I think it was either just before the lockdown, or did we have a meeting during lockdown? And Debbie was like, "You have to try these. I promise you're going to love them." And we, a bit of a stick in mud. We're like, "Oh, I don't know." And we was like, "Okay, we'll try them." And it's just been history from there. We love them.
Yeah, I was very much like, no, I know what I use. I know the line. I haven't got time to learn a new pigment line. And then I think Jasper was like, there's a couple of samples, just try them and let me know what you think. Go on then, we'll try them. And then, we was literally sold, weren't we? We switched everything over.
And what sold you exactly, do you think?
To be honest, for me, I think a lot of it was you and Jasper's support, your knowledge, education, everything about it made it easier for us to be like, okay, I trust what you're saying and I'm willing to try. And you wasn't pushing it on us. You was just saying, look, please try it because you love it so much.
I think, and it comes down to education again, doesn't it? Because where do you really get that kind of education on a pigment line? Like Debbie, you spend so much time supporting artists and helping artists with learning the range. You don't get that from any other supplier. And the fact that they're like amazing quality, it was just like a no-brainer. And then the healed results start coming in, and then it's like, this is it. This is me done. I'm sorted.
Yeah. I mean, because that's all that matters, isn't it? Really is, we can look at all these glamorous images, and if the healed result isn't up to scratch, and if there isn't a little bit of not a little bit forgiving so that everybody can have a go. You know, it's rather than have a range for beginners or, you know, intermediate or advanced or what have you, or different skin types necessarily. You know, it's I think it's the fact that you know they are suitable for beginners, because I know you use them, don't you, for
We use them for students,
for training. And yet there are some incredibly experienced artists that have been out there for years who are still using them, which is absolutely amazing. So that's great.
Yeah, and I like to be able to give my students what I use as well. So it's nice because I can show them my work, I can show them the colours I'm using, the hills I'm getting, and they're using the same product, same equipment, same product. So I feel like it gives students that confidence as well, rather than you teaching with one thing and then you don't even use it. You use something completely different.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, do you both have favourite treatments?
Oh, that's a really hard one. It changes from week to week, to be fair.
Mine is hair strokes. I've always loved hair strokes.
Hair strokes. Mine is probably from the brows. It would be a powder brow is my favourite brow style.
Yeah.
But I do love lips and eyeliner as well. So it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Hard.
Well, we know you love hair strokes because we brought out your signature brow set. And just tell everybody exactly why those colours.
Those 4 colours literally are 4 colours you could mix for any skin type that walks through your door. It's all you need. Literally, they're the 4 colours that I pick up pretty much all the time in the clinic anyway.
Yeah.
And just mixing in different variations. We've got our cool, neutral and warm tones in there as well. And then we've got the light, medium, dark range, just all across 4 pigments. For me, I've battled with pigments on hair strokes for probably my whole career. So I started off with inorganics and they was all going red after a year or 2. And then you can't colour boost with hair strokes over red. So then I switched to organics, but I don't really want to name names, but not the best quality, I guess, of
No, they're probably more like the tattoo inks, aren't they?
Yeah. And then they don't fade and they just end up an absolute mess 2 years down the line. And then I went back to inorganics, and I had this battle going on with myself for years because it wasn't about just the healed result for me. It was, I wanted to be able to colour boost and keep a hair stroke brow, because everyone says, like, you know, you can't keep hair strokes after a couple of years, you have to go to a powder. But I'm a bit like, well, why? I want to find a way that you don't have to. So
I mean, if you put them too close together, then they're going to bend. You've only got to look at tattoo script, haven't you, to see that, you know. Yeah,
but with the right, because I shade my hair stroke, so it's a low saturating kind of technique for hair strokes. So teamed with Goldeneye that are never going to go red. They will always cool down as they age, but the saturation is low enough for me to then just be able to warm them back up and keep a hair stroke brow. So it was like my winning combo that I finally found.
Yeah, and they fade down, don't they? They do fade down.
They do fade, yeah.
Yeah, they do fade down, which is fantastic. So,
got a quick question.
Jasper's got a question.
Post it in the chat now. It's from Facebook Live.
I can't see the chat. Okay.
What do your hair strokes look like a year down the line with colorescence?
Can you hear that?
Yes. So a year for me is probably a little bit too soon. Mum tend to be colour boosting at around the 18 month mark. Sometimes even just over 18 months seems to be about average for my clients. So they're all still there. There's strokes. There's no migration of strokes. They are just a little bit cooler than what they was originally. And then I just go back in and warm them back up. So they stay as strokes, which is the most important thing for me.
Oh yeah, they do stay. They absolutely stay as strokes. Yeah. Have you also, do you remember using pale colour? Because I used to be a bit wary about using pale lip colours. Well, anything that wasn't a really strong, red or pink or something like that, really dark colours, vibrant colours, let's call it that way, because of the, being left with kind of old white residue and things like that. How do you feel now about lips coming back after a couple of years as well?
I don't really get it much, I don't get it with lips. It's like you can pretty much pick up any colour. I mean, to be fair, because I do quite a transparent lip most of my work. So I tend to grab the darker colours a lot of the time anyway, just because of the technique that I use. But you do more saturated lips, Claire, don't you? You do the stronger looks.
But I still tend to pull people more towards the darker colours. But I wouldn't say I've noticed anything coming back. Like, you used to get with other brands that were light in colour, that had a lot of, titanium in them. They were a little bit chalky and a little bit, I don't know how to say, the texture's a little bit different. But I've not noticed that with Goldeneye. And I do a more saturated look than what Layla does. So if anyone was going to get that, it would be me.
Yeah.
But I've not noticed it at all.
Yeah, I think, it varies so much with your client, doesn't it? Somebody will say they want something supernatural, not spooky, supernatural, but really natural. They want this really light blush. You give them a really bright blush. You have to use a brighter colour, obviously, to be able to do that. And then they actually go, oh no, I want something where I can see it a bit more. And,
Yeah,
I always want more.
Trust me, I'm like, just trust me, it will fade. Trust me.
Yeah.
But I know that Goldeneye is going to fade nicely and settle into that colour. Some brands I think, if I use this colour, it might stay like that. So you have to be a little bit more careful. But I just trust the brand. I know what it's going to do on the healing, so I feel quite confident with whatever colour choice I'm going to use.
Brilliant. Yeah, I think it obviously. I think we're going to have a Zoom, aren't we, where we're going to talk about proper actual pigments and all that kind of stuff. But it definitely the way things are manufactured obviously has an effect on everything. So, any exciting? Look at my questions. What do you think is the biggest challenge currently at the moment in our industry?
What is the biggest challenge? That's an interesting question, Debbie.
One of them I would probably say is confusion, with so much conflicting advice, which is what we were discussing earlier. I mean, the benefit of the online world now is you've got access to so much knowledge, but when you see so many trainers conflicting their advice, I find a lot of artists, sometimes they can be more confused than before they started their online learning. So for me, I always just stress there's no right or wrong way. As long as you're not tearing up the skin, you're not doing it wrong. And you will find everyone does just have their own way of working or their own kind of technique or preferred method. And sometimes as an artist, it is just about trying and finding what works for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rather than thinking it's wrong, it's not necessarily wrong. It's just not someone's preferred choice.
Where do you see our industry in 5 years? That wasn't on the list, I think.
It wasn't. I think the industry has improved massively since the time I've been in it. I think, as an artist, we are much better educated than we was 9 years ago. We're much more knowledgeable. I think standards have improved massively. When you look at newcomers to the industry now, the standard of work is way better than it was years ago. I do. I think it's improving all the time. So I think it's only going to get bigger and better, to be honest. Yeah.
There are definitely excuse me. I mean, there are definitely tools and things like that, and more resources available to help people with mapping, with drawing on, with but you've got to be careful, I think, sometimes that they're a guide, not a template.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And to be artistic is really something that is really important in our industry, and you must remember that. All right, somebody just was saying there's 10 minutes left. TikTok. TikTok you, Jasper. So you have a lot of newcomers that come onto the circle, and sort of what advice, what's your best advice do you have for the newcomer to our industry?
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power, yeah.
Be as educated as you can, make educated decisions, and just research, and obviously keep learning.
Yeah, and I always say to, like, especially our students, don't compare yourself to other artists that are maybe 5-10 years in front of you. I find newer artists now are so impatient to be amazing day one. So I tend just, use other people's work as inspiration, but just know that you're kind of on your own journey, and you will get there with hard work, but it's not going to be overnight. Just experience, just practice as much as you can, get as much experience as you can, because that's when you really learn, is when you're in the skin. You can learn loads online, but you'll really learn when you're actually tattooing.
Yeah. Do you think sometimes that that some companies might market the fact that it's quite a money-making career rather than a hard-working one?
We normally say to all of our learners, don't we, that you're probably not going to make any money back in the first year, because you're just going to be reinvesting it in yourself.
Yeah.
You're just constantly paying back into the industry, learning and improving yourself, which is fine if you're willing to accept that journey, that you've got to keep continuously investing to be the best you can be, and for your for your clients.
Yeah,
it's not.
Don't listen to Instagram, it lies.
Oh, it's totally lies. Yeah, it totally lies.
There is a lot of I think there's a lot of false marketing out there. There's a lot of over editing of work, and it's hard.
I've got a question for you.
Oh, just got a question.
This is from Abigail. She's had the range for a while, but only recently done her first set. She's booked in for a 6-week top-up, but she's worried that she won't know how to perfect them without help on the day. She's worried that she might want to go in with her regular pigments to Layla's horror. Haha.
Right, how do you ladies want to answer that?
So what she means is if it doesn't come back how she wants, or if she needs to add anything to it, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got a great pigmentology book that she can always refer to. And also, obviously, the DC Micro Group is also fab. Like, Debbie is in there constantly giving advice. So if you've got a picture of how they was, or even if you can get a little sneaky picture before she comes in, so you're ahead of the situation, it'll make you feel more confident.
I remember when you used to do that, Claire. You used to stalk her clients on Facebook to try and see how they've healed.
I'm still a stalker. I still do that now. I was actually doing that last night, trying to look at someone's photos.
I have to say, a lot of people who I talk to, and I talk to a lot of people. Do you know what? It was interesting with it being Mother's Day yesterday, because Sunday afternoons are normally a really busy afternoon for me. With messages, and yesterday it wasn't, which was rather lovely. People putting family first, which was nice. And however, I say just ask for a photo, full face, outside in the daylight, in advance.
Yeah,
and then you know what you're prepared for.
You can prepare before they get there.
Not a photo that's like that.
Yeah.
Can I see a photo of your brows, and you're sent that as if you're looking through a letterbox? I mean, really. Right.
I think that definitely helps with newer artists. I mean, I still would like it now. If someone's willing to send me a photo, then happy days, I'm all over it. Definitely in the earlier days, it would help me manage my own control, my own thought process, and just being prepared for what I was going to do. So that definitely did help.
Yeah.
So, really good tip.
So if you're worried, you can message any of us with, you get a photo in advance from your client about 3 weeks in before she's due back in for the retouch, and with what the colours that you used originally, and
We'll tell you what to do.
we'll let you know. We'll let you know how to handle the situation.
And just make sure you know your warm, neutral and cool tones from each pigment in the line. So if they come back and they need cooling down a bit, which is rare, but you can, or if they need warming up, you kind of know where your warm ones are. That's why I love the little the pigment stands, because they're all arranged warm, neutral, cool. That was how I really got started with them, remembering what was what.
Yeah.
And your pigment swatch sheets as well. Obviously, you can download them from the Circle as well. So they're super useful if you're a visual person.
Okay. See, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Can you buy the stands, Debbie? Abby's asking.
Pardon?
Abby said, can you buy the stands?
We were just talking about this.
Yes, well, we might have something coming up for that with
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Layla. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned for that.
Debbie, I have a question for you actually, if I may. Do you have a favourite lip colour?
Oh God.
And can you pick just one? The other question though, isn't it?
If I had to pick one colour, it'd be lip blush.
Lip blush.
One of my favourites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't narrow it to one. I've got two. Midnight Red and Shiny Lobster.
Right.
I think we've got a new one on the way as well.
Yeah, I think there's a new one coming.
Strong.
I think there's a nice red. But the
Is Layla's Shiny Lobster a big color? Asks.
Is mine Shiny Lobster? I would probably say mine would be lip blush again, and
Midnight Red.
I love Midnight Red.
Yeah.
I just love it. Yeah.
Border Addict is really nice as well, actually. You can't forget that one.
Yeah. That my top three would be them three.
Yeah.
And Lollipop.
Yeah. I think I'm saying lip blush because you can use it alone.
And on anyone.
It's warm enough. It's an orange base, so it's warm enough, but then feels slightly pinky.
Yeah.
And it's quite natural.
You know, we had someone doing that colour, didn't she, on assessment this week? How beautiful was Josie?
It looked stunning, didn't it? Stunning.
She did the first session with lip blush, and they came back, like you said, a really lovely pinky sort of heel. And then on the retouch, she did the same thing again for assessment, and they were so beautiful.
Yeah.
So nice.
Yeah. So I think for that one colour, because otherwise, as much as we love cool lip pigments, because the colours are just so gorgeous and vibrant.
So another question.
I'm not allowed to finish my sentence.
No, because we're running out of time. I've got another question. Kathy Brown is looking for a vascular cool lip color. Very berry, looks very orange rust.
This.
Was his one
Or vascular lip color.
Showtime. What for to use on a vascular cool lip? I'd say Showtime.
Warm the lips up.
I'd say
Showtime, yeah.
Showtime.
Showtime.
Yeah. Do you both agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Warm on it, yeah.
Love Showtime as well.
You can't sleep on Showtime either.
And it's nice and bright for me. I love the brighter colours.
Yeah.
Yeah, Showtime is just the thing. What was it? Yeah, what I was going to say before was, although you've got those gorgeous cool colours, because lips do tend to obviously, have that bluey tinge to them. You can still have that gorgeous vibrancy of those cool colours, can't you? But when you're healed, but you've got to put the Showtime in with it.
Kathy Brown says it needs to be a cool pigment.
Oh, she wants a cool pigment.
Maybe something like Bordeaux for a cool pink.
A light or dark? Light, medium, or dark?
I don't know. Just that's cool pigment. It needs to be a cool pigment.
Oh,
She needs to get a mauve tone.
What
Oh,
sort of
mauve
colour?
tone.
I mean, you might.
Very berry or something.
Very berry, yeah, very berry.
Yeah, or Love Grit, which
Mm.
has got that red rock kind of look that might go with the bluey to give like a mauve finish.
Mm.
Maybe she's looking for like a raspberry sort of colour, you know, that cool bluey raspberry colour.
Yeah.
1 minute. Anything you want to say? You've got 1 minute.
1 minute.
1 minute just to say that we love Goldeneye, we love Debbie and Jessica. And that is actually genuine, we do. We really do.
Oh,
Yeah, as a
Thank
whole,
you.
as a branding, as a whole, not even just the products. As these guys are just amazing.
And thank you for supporting us.
absolutely. Thank you for your
Thanks
support.
for having us.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, you've already had a busy morning, haven't you, with your live?
Done my
already
Zoom with a
this morning?
circle this morning. Yeah,
I
I've got a Zoom day.
Has Zoom
Got a Zoom day. It's not
Oh,
bad life, really, is it?
it's not a bad life. So yeah, I've got a gentleman's for SMP this afternoon, so that's
Oh,
my
nice.
couple of hours of doing little tiny dots. Yes. So with our beautiful scalp onyx, by the way, for those of you that do SMP. Nice and different.
Right, thank you very much. Time's up.
Oh, time's up. Okay. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thanks,
ladies. Thank you.
guys.
All
See you
right.
later.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye.